And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Counterfeiters from Quinted Games. Now, Counterfeiters was, when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty funny. Anthropomorphic animals in Miami. Counterfeiting money. Now, counterfeiting money is not a theme that's often done in games. There's some gangster games out there. But this one looked interesting as you're making counterfeit bills, and I was excited about it. Then I got the game, and I was like, such a small box. I was kind of hoping for a bigger, more robust game with this theme. But there's actually a lot more game in here than I had anticipated. At the same time, it is kind of a small, short style game. Let me show you. Each player is going to pick an animal, one of the 4 types, and you'll get the shield of that type, along with the 3 animal workers of that one. Police officers can be placed on the board depending on the number of players. The other side of the board is for 2 players. And a bunch of cards are going to be put here at the top from a deck that's shuffled with A's and B's and C's and D's, and you'll draw 6 face-up. Now note, some of the face-up cards are not from the A's. I just want to show a variety of the cards. Each player is also going to get a certain amount of money depending on the start turn. They're going to get an envelope here for their offshore account, and everyone's going to get 1 printer and then 1 random thing, which is either going to be paper or ink. And then the game begins. On each round of the game, players are going to take one of their workers one at a time, starting from the start player. When the start player, by the way, has these cool sunglasses here. And you're going to place it on a worker spot on the board. If you place it on a spot with a police officer, the police officer moves down 1. So what do the different spots do? If you go up here, you can pay the amount of money that it shows and purchase the card. Maybe you want to buy better equipment for your printers, ink or a hologram or paper, or you can buy another printer. You can also buy diners, lottery tickets, and private jets. If you go here, you can just get $30. If you go on a spot with the sunglasses, you'll get those and get to go first next round. If you go here, you're going to print counterfeit money. You'll print 2 counterfeit money for each printer that you have. If you have only 1 star, which means you just have paper or just have ink, you're going to print 1 star counterfeit money. And if you have 2 stars, 2 stars, and 3 stars, you'll print 3-star counterfeit money, all in 50s. If you go over here to the grocery store, you can turn up to 3 bills in for real money, whether they're 1s, 2s, or 3s. If you go to these 2 spots, you can turn them into a fence for less money, depending on how good the counterfeit bill is. So a 3-star will get you 40, a 1-star will only get you 20. Now, why are you doing all this? Why does it matter? Well, as the police officer moves down and it hits these 3 spots on the board here, the police officers will train the grocery store to spot counterfeit bills, and they'll stop accepting 1s, then 2s, then 3s. You can also go here and fly to an offshore account and put real money, not counterfeit money, in your envelope. You can put as much as you want. You can pay $30 to do it, or you can use one of these 2 spots, but only if you own a private jet. Why would you do that? Because when a police officer hits these spots here, the Godfather, he's going to show up and demand half your real money. So all the real money you have, you'll have to give half of it back to the Godfather, turn it into the bank at that point in time. Money that's in your offshore account is not known. That the Godfather doesn't know you have this, so you don't have to worry about it. And then there's a spot here that no one can use a plane when it's on this spot. That's essentially the whole game. When you get to this spot here, after that happens, everyone's going to get 1 final turn. If you've chosen one of these cards here, the good lawyer and the bad lawyer, you have a chance to get 1 extra turn, put it on a spot somewhere on the board. The good lawyer goes before the better one. At the end of every round, you can turn 1 counterfeit money into real money for each diner that you have. And lottery tickets, you can buy them, and they're just essentially money at the end of the game that can't be touched by the mob boss. Most real money plus lottery tickets plus money in your offshore account at the end of the game is the winner. You know, one of the things I complain about in games all the time is paper money. But in this game, paper money not only makes sense thematically, it works. I really like how the counterfeit money gets more and more close to the actual real dollar bills as they get better in quality. That's a neat aspect and it works well. I will say though, there was one annoying thing about the paper money in this one. It came on pads and you had to tear it off, so there's that. The cards are good quality. They're very easy to see what they are. These are neat, and again, this is where paper money makes sense because you can slide the paper money into them. These wooden pieces are really well done, and one of the things I like about having the animals be in this game is the fact that it kind of divorces it from reality a little bit, so it's not so gruesome. And counterfeiting isn't something that I condone at all, but in this game it's kind of silly because it's animals doing it. But overall, the only thing that surprises me is that this board and everything, it all fits in such a small box. I wouldn't have minded maybe if they made it a little bit larger, but that's really the only negative thing I can say. I really like the production other than that. As I said, I'm not a big fan of counterfeiting, obviously, but this game, again, kind of makes it silly and a worker placement thing, and it's kind of just fun with the nice components. And again, it's kind of surprising the number of components they packed into this small game. This is a worker placement game. We're going to put workers down, placing them on spots on the board to give you stuff, and it plays like that. It's fun. You're going to, make some fake counterfeit money, then you're going to transfer it into real money, then you got to get that real money on your offshore account before the police, before the Godfather shows up. And there's not a lot of different options in this game, but there's enough. This feels like a worker placement filler game almost. I don't even think there's a category for that style of game. This is one of the shortest, smallest worker placement games I played that feels like a full game. It feels really good. It says, I think the time on here, it says 35 minutes, which is kind of weird. I always wanted to say 30, but that's pretty much the timing of the game. It plays just as well between 2 to 4 players. You can push the game end in itself by deliberately placing on top of those police spaces to push things. At the beginning, the grocery market, it's an easy way to get some real money, but as soon as you get that real money, are you willing to spend some of it to put it into the offshore accounts, or are you going to wait till a private jet is cheap enough to do that? Are you going to get multiple printers and just print out tons of counterfeit cash and turn it over into cheap stuff, or are you going to try to get good quality counterfeit bills? These aren't tough decisions, but there are enough little decisions over the course of the game that I think it's definitely worth your time looking at this one. And this one was a surprise for me for sure. I really had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad to play it, putting it in the Dice Tower library, because I think it's one that's what should we play? This one is definitely one that's hey, yeah, this won't take long. And when you're done, it doesn't feel like you just played a frothy game. It feels like there was some more meat to it than not. So, Counterfeiters, a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. Dice Tower Judgment approved.